Hello YouTube, welcome. Jake Blake here. I'm just going to give you a quick rundown on the deck that I was using in my previous duel video. So I'm just going to start out with the spells. We run triple MSTs, really mandatory. You don't want to really run into back row when you set up for your plays, so 3 is really good. I consider it a staple in most decks that I make. You can always side them out if your opponent doesn't really play any heavy back row, but I just made them, I like them. Double Monarch the Stormforth. If you don't know what it does, it's a quick play spell card that is basically a soul exchange. You can tribute your opponent's monster as if it was yours, and you can tribute for, like, let's say a Monarch. So it's really good, and it's quick play, and it doesn't target. So you can do this on your opponent's turn, and you can target one of their monsters, and they can't like chain like whatever Bujin cards would stop Yamato from being targeted. So it's really good because it doesn't target. Then we run one Forbidden Lance just to protect your Christias and your boss monsters if you, run into any of those problems. One's really good. I don't really like 2 just because it can be cloggy. 1 just works out fine. 1 Book of Moon, Dark Hole, Allure of Darkness because you run several darks, and then 1 Photon Sanctuary because you can set up first turn Lad, with this. If you don't know what that does, it summons 2 tokens, light, and you contribute them for a light monster. So, first turn Light and Darkness Dragon, it's pretty good. Then for the traps, you run 2 Fiendish Chain. I like Fiendish Chain because it stops attacks as well as monster effects. So that's just mostly the way I play it, extra defense. Then we run 1 Wiretap, stop trap cards, shuffle them back into your opponent's deck, and yeah, so let's say they activate a warning, you flip over Wiretap, they just paid 2,000 for nothing. So it's really good. 1 Bottomless, 1 Torrential, 1 Compulsory Escape Device, or Evacuation Device, haha, 1 Dimensional Prison, and 1 Mirror Force to line up the traps. Get it out of the way. Then for the monsters, for spot removal, we run 2 Caius the Shadow Monarch. Awesome just to tribute it on your opponent's turn. Just banish their cards, get rid of their monsters. It's like, I like to think of it as, when you combo it with Monarch Stormforth, I think of it as like an MST or an end phase MST because you tribute their monster, you get rid of one of their monsters, and then you banish one of their back row, and they can't chain it because they just set it. So it's really good. Then we run 2 Evil Swarm Thunderbird. It's a floater, it comes back, it can protect itself, so it's just extra tribute fodder for Caius. And sometimes it'll occasionally run over the Thunder King, so really good. Then for the extra monster hate, we run 2 Doom Caliber Knight. This card is really good, really underrated. It can slow you down from activating your monster effects, but your opponent also has to think of ways around this. So they could waste their Dark Holes, waste their Bottomlesses. This card forces out a lot of your opponent's responses. And if you summon this first turn, you put your opponent in a bad position because they can't go off without getting rid of it. So it's really good. Then we run 2 Agent of Creation Venus, sets up your plays, gets your gachis, and boosts your monsters. 2 Tour Guides. I'm debating on if I should run this or not, but just gets into your rank 3s, Leviair, Zenmaines, number 42, 49, Fortune Tune, just really good, depending on the matchup. Then we run 2 Agent of Mystery Earth, your searcher of the deck, gets you your Venuses, sets up for next play, and it's also a level 2 tuner. Then the MVP of the deck, 2 Ghost Trick Jack Frosts. I can't explain to you how much this card has saved me. If you don't know what it does, if your opponent would declare it a direct attack, you can flip that opponent's monster face down and then special summon this card. And this card doesn't target the monster that it flips face down, so that is why it's really good. Then we run 2 Shine Balls, just your Venus plays. I don't really care for 3. 1 Christia. It's really easy to set up 4 fairies in the graveyard, and Venus pretty much sets that up really easily. And your opponent can't special summon, so yeah, that shuts it down a lot. 1 Master Hyperion, because extra spot removal. 1 Light and Darkness Dragon. If you get this guy out first turn, your opponent has to waste so many resources, and I just see it as a draw power card because if your opponent doesn't want to waste resources, you get a free turn and you get to draw, so it's really good. 1 Thunder King Ryo, just to stop decks that search and occasionally special summon. One card that I'm testing is Pitch Black Werewolf. Basically, this card's effect is your opponent can't activate traps during the battle phase. So I'm just testing it out, testing out to see if I can OTK really fast. It depends, but if not, it's an allure target. One Birdman, one Vortex Trooper. I'm still running one just because you can have dead hands sometimes. And I always seem to draw this card when I get dead hands, so that's why I really like it. Also, if you don't have dead hands, you can always just set it and then, you know, just draw a card if your opponent wants to kill it. And then we run one Max C just because extra draw power. So it's really good. And it forces your opponents to rethink about their plays that they're about to make. Okay. So now I'm going into the side deck. We run one Jinzo just for trap hate. Jinzo is really easy to get out, especially with Monarch Stormforth. Your opponent can activate traps and you can go off on him next turn, basically. Then we run two Rise of the Storm Monarch. Just sets cards on your opponent's field back to the top of the deck, so it's really good. One Trap Eater, you can send one of their face-up traps to the grave to special summon this guy. He's a level 4 tuner, and he's a Dark Allure target if he becomes dead. But yeah, rank 4 Exceeds, rank 8 or level 8 Synchros, just whatever you want to go into is really versatile. One Dark Blade, Captain of the Evil World. I just put him in there just in case I go against the occasional light deck. You can target one of their light monsters, equipped it to this card, and yeah, so he's protected by that. Then we run one Honest because it's a light deck sometimes. One Master Hyperion, one Light and Darkness Dragon. This deck can go into many different types of builds, depending on if you want to go with the level 8 build, you know, speed up your decks, you can run trade-ins and stuff like that. One of the things that I like about this deck is you can actually run macro. You can side out cards that you wouldn't use with macro, and you can just side this in. I really like macro. It shuts down a lot of decks. If you flip this card up face up against Boojins, they have a hard time getting rid of it unless they main 3 MST. But if you have this and, you know, some other card that negates spells or Light and Darkness Dragon, it's really good. Then we run one Starlight Road just for Judgment Dragon hate. Judgment Dragon's just kind of OP, but macro hurts them too as well. Then we run one Photon Sanctuary just for the extra. You want to draw this as fast as possible with Light and Darkness Dragon. One Trade-In because you run 5 targets. One Dimensional Fissure, again, graveyard hate. One Valhalla Hall of the Fallen just to gate out your beaters. I might probably just take this out. And then one Instant Fusion because you can make Arcanite Magician really fast with an agent. And for the extra deck, we run one Castel, really good spot removal, really good. One Gachi Gachi, one Leviair, Gaga Cowboy, 49 Fortune Tune. I usually get this guy out on burn decks just because he helps you gain life points. One Wind Up Zen Mains, one Angel of Zera. I really like him because he's a floater with macro. Also, if you banish him, he comes back during the next turn. And he's a 28 beater, and depending on how many monsters your opponent has banished, or cards, I believe, he gains 100 attack, so he can get really strong. One Dark End Dragon for that extra target one monster on the field and send it to the graveyard. So he's like a black ship of corn. One Goyo Guardian because he's off the ban list. One Cataster. One TG Hyper Librarian because I don't have Armatis. One Stardust Dragon. One Arcanite Magician for that extra spot removal, and then one Black Rose Dragon for all the spot removal, and then one Musician King because of that Instant Fusion. So, but yeah, that's been the deck YouTube. I hope you like it. If you want to see how this deck kind of goes against the meta, go ahead and check on my last video. It was me up against Lightsworns. But yeah, guys, comment what you think about this video, and if you like it, go ahead and like it. But yeah, thank you for watching.